Dear President and Board of Directors of the Global Women Leaders Congress and Award, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I would like to cordially thank the organizers for the invitation to join the 12th meeting of the Congress today, an annual meeting that over the years has been elevated to an important institution for all Asian women and beyond. And I'm extremely honored to be among all of you today, so many phenomenal women as you are. Our gathering is a strong indication that today women tend to lead the way in important sectors, affecting society as a whole, including education, innovation, entrepreneurship, and the protection of our natural environment and climate. This is today more necessary than ever before, because our world faces unprecedented environmental challenges, from climate change and ocean degradation to plastic pollution and biodiversity loss. And the leadership of women in these fields has proven to be both transformative and indispensable. Acknowledging that women often bear a disproportionate burden from environmental and climate impacts, we must take action to reverse these facts. Indeed, over the last decades, women have been in the forefront of climate and environmental leadership, driving progress through their knowledge, analytical mind, and determination to achieve the ultimate goal, to save life on Earth. Women political leaders, ecofeminists, scientists, educators, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders pave the way towards a more sustainable future for all. Women leaders are, as we said, at the forefront of global environmental affairs, driving innovative solutions and sustainable practices that safeguard our planet. Their work in protecting the oceans, mitigating the impact of climate change, and advancing environmental justice is a testament of the power of inclusive leadership. It is worth focusing on female empowerment as a means to save the environment. Could women save the environment? The answer is yes. World Bank studies and others prove that women are and can be more impactful and make a significant difference in the environment and climate arena. Statistics say that women may own only 30% of global businesses. However, they are the ones that are more likely to invest in sustainability. Women in important positions tend to advance gender-responsive policies and bring diverse perspective in climate and environmental law and policy making. By promoting sustainable practices in businesses and finance flows, more women than men are actually tend to shift their business operation towards responsible investments or divestments for fossil fuels and promoting green and sustainable finance. There are also stronger components of the application of the so-called ESG criteria for businesses, that is, the environmental, social, and governance criteria for the businesses. And as they tend to study more STEM sciences than before, that is science, technology, right, mathematics, engineering, women, they may drive research and innovation in sciences and in engineering and technology in order to reduce carbon emissions and adapt to changing environmental conditions, to use their knowledge to solve the environmental challenges. And they advocate for enhancing also disaster prevention, preparedness, and response, and making their neighborhood, cities, and ecosystems more resilient. In politics, women support stricter environmental standards in their countries while they foster international environmental climate cooperation across countries and organizations. Last but not least, as leaders, mothers, and educators, women empower youth to become environmental friendly and climate aware generations. But our generation has got inspiration from very important women that have led the way. Let me just refer to visionaries like Wangari Maathai, whose tireless advocacy for reforestation and environmental justice transformed communities in Kenya, or Sylvia Earle, whose groundbreaking explorations and commitment to ocean conservation have deepened our understanding about the oceans, and she's a US scientist. Or Vandana Shiva, a strong advocate for biodiversity and sustainable agriculture. Or Christiana Figueres, whose leadership was very important for the adoption of the Paris Agreement against climate change. Or Inger Andersen, who is currently the executive director of the UN Environment Programme. Or Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. And Ursula von der Leyen, who is the president of the European Union, and she has reshaped the policies of the European Union towards a more greener future and inclusive future for everyone. And let's not forget Sunita Narain, whose passionate advocacy for environmental justice in India has empowered communities to protect their natural resources. Many, many women are leaders for environment and climate today, and their achievements, along with those of countless less-known heroines, remind us that when passion and purpose go together, then transformative leadership emerges. And this leadership empowers generations to address climate change, to protect our ocean, and nurture a healthier planet for all. But here we have to focus on three different initiatives, as many of the speakers already mentioned. First of all, we need to focus on empowerment of women through education and mentorship for sustainability studies. Secondly, we have to facilitate women engagement at their community level and also in grassroots movements and in general to mobilize local action. And third, we have to empower more women to be elected at all levels of politics, at the local, at the regional level, at the national level, as well as at the international level. And we have to pay very careful attention to what is actually going on. Because, for example, we might say that there is enough inclusivity of women into the international negotiations for climate or environment. But is this true? When we go to the COP, to the Conference of the Parties of the UNFCCC, the agreement, the Framework Agreement for Climate Change, we meet equally many men and women. But then, if we see what women stand for, in most cases, they represent academia, NGOs, scientists. They are not part of the official delegations of the countries to the negotiations. There is a statistic, I'm not sure if the statistic is very accurate, but I would like to refer it, and we have to double check it, that only 10% of the official delegations to the climate negotiations are women. This is very low. So what I did is that I wrote to the Secretariat of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, requiring them to facilitate the participation, the official participation of more women in the climate talks. And this is necessary if we want the climate talks to be meaningful. So I would definitely urge all of you to reach out to your governments and double-check whether they actually sent women in their official delegations to the climate negotiations and to other negotiations on environment and climate abroad. This will raise our voices to the ultimate level of decision and policy making on environment and climate issues. And last but not least, since I'm here, and since, yes, I traveled from Greece only for one day to come to India, I would like to share with you an opportunity for cooperation with all of you today. Because I don't know if you know, but actually Greece and India, we have signed a partnership cooperation, a new agreement for partnerships. And it is very important because Greece and India, we belong to the two of the greatest civilizations ancient civilizations of the world. And we have common interest in contemporary society as well. And our leadership, it is both based on values and ethics. So under this new strategic leadership, we can work together in many environmental and climate initiatives, including sustainable education, research and development, entrepreneurship, and innovation in this field. And on top of that, there is another initiative which is called the Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative that refers to all your respective countries. So not only between Greece and India, but in all the countries that are in the region of Indo-Pacific Ocean. So this initiative has 7 sectors or pillars that might be relevant to your work. On top of maritime security and maritime ecology, it is about ocean resources, capacity building and resource sharing, disaster risk reduction and management, or on top, science, technology, and academic cooperation in this field, sustainable trade, connectivity, IoT, AI, and maritime transportation. So we have many more opportunities for collective action among us. And these are existing frameworks of cooperation that we can take really value of. Taking this into mind, I call upon all of you to take collective action for the environment, for climate, for the present and the future generations. The participants in this Congress, you're all already very successful. You're all overachievers. But ladies, let's not forget that we are as good as our next step. Let's take this next step together. Thank you very much.